What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to No Life to Metal. It's time for a rock metal update. That's right. It's time for a rock and metal update. I got a large pile. I'm going to split up the two videos. I'm going to do one is all new releases. Got a bunch of new releases to show, and the second one is going to be, you know, original pressings and other stuff that I've purchased over the past whatever amount of time. But before I get started, I do want to give a shout out to a couple people. First of all, a dear friend who we lost this past week, LJ Biosite on YouTube. He was a huge part of the vinyl community for years. He hasn't made videos in a very long time because he decided that it was taking away time from his family, so he stopped doing them. Never stopped collecting, but he did stop doing the videos. But his channel was one of the reasons that I started doing videos to begin with back in the day, and he was one of the people that encouraged me to do videos back in the day. So big shout out to LJ and his wife Renee and his family, who I'm sure are grieving his loss. He's got, you know, I think he's got 5 children. So I just, you know, prayers for that family. I just pray for comfort for them. And yeah, LJ was a great guy. And then I also want to give a shout out to Ace Frehley. I mean, I've been an Ace fan since I was literally a little kid. I mean, I became a Kiss fan when I was in grade school, and Ace was always my favorite. My first band shirt ever was an Ace Frehley shirt. Back in the 70s, I begged my parents to let me buy this Ace Frehley shirt that I saw in a record store in the mall, and eventually I was able to save up enough money to buy it myself. So that was my very first shirt. I never had the opportunity to meet Ace. I've seen him live many, many times, but he's always been one of my favorites, and I've always wanted to meet him. Never had the opportunity. But regardless, big loss for the music community, for the metal community, for the hard rock community. But I'm sure he's in a better place now, and I'm thankful for that. LJ is the same way. So anyhow, that's my shout out at the beginning of this video. So we'll see you in eternity, LJ. We'll see you in eternity, Ace Frehley. And let's get into the video. All right, so I got a bunch of new stuff here, and we're going to start off with the brand new Testament. And I've seen a few videos of people loving this video. I've seen some people saying it's their best yet. I've seen other people hating this album. So it seems to have one of those effects on people that either love it or hate it. I've played it twice now, and the first time it kind of, I listened to it, but it was just, I kind of forgot about it really quickly. I mean, it was nothing like super memorable, you know, within that first listen. Within the second listen, I started digging more of it. I started getting more into the riffs. I got to give it more time to really be able to say, you know, is it as good as their last few albums? Is it as good or better than their, you know, classic material? I can't honestly say that yet. I can say that there are a lot of death metal influences on here. There are even some black metal influences on here. Chuck Billy's vocals go for the more guttural, almost death metal style of vocals, as opposed to the, you know, more melodic singing that he sometimes does. But guitar tone is a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Digital sounding to me. It doesn't sound natural, but it doesn't sound bad either. It's just, I don't know. I just need to give it more listens. So, you know, I really love to hear what you guys think. So we just did a whole episode on the Metal Roundtable about what people thought of the Testament, and I'd love to hear what you guys think of the New Testament. Like the artwork, very well done. Looks like a painting to me. Whether it actually is or not, it's hard to tell these days with AI. But regardless, Testament, and the name of the album is Parabellum. And I can honestly say that even if it's not your favorite Testament album, it's not a bad album. It's actually a really well recorded, well done album. Lots of speed, amazing musicianship. So, you know, take it for what it is. I'm not saying it's the greatest album ever, but it's nowhere near the crap that some people are also calling it. So give it a listen for yourself before listening to anybody's reviews, including mine. You know, but if you do have this album and you've heard it and like it, don't like it, leave a message below and let me know what you like about it or don't like about it. So, all right, next up, love this album. I've been playing this thing over and over and over again, but this is the new Void. This is Forbidden Morals. This is the brand new 2025 album from the new thrash band. These guys have been out there touring constantly and apparently tearing up the stage. Everybody's saying that they're one of the, you know, every time they've seen them, they're just fantastic. They look like a classic 80s metal band. Kind of look like maybe Running Wild. It's kind of what they look like here, or, you know, kind of have the Judas Priest look, but more like early Running Wild with all the leather and spikes and chains and stuff. maybe Exciter a little bit like that, but musically these guys are very different from the Exodus worship that a lot of the modern new wave of thrash metal bands are doing. This is more in the vein of bands like, to me, it's more in the vein of bands like Agent Steel, Toxic, Realm, early Power Mad, even Anthrax here and there with the clean vocals, but the heavy riffs and the jackhammer riffing, the pummeling rhythm section. Very memorable songs. This is just one that I keep wanting to put on again. I cannot imagine this won't make my top 10 of the year. Of course, I'm huge thrash head to begin with, but Forbidden Morals, easily one of the best thrash albums, and that's saying a lot because there's a lot of new thrash out there. New bands putting out stuff, classic bands putting out stuff. I mean, you got Testament here putting out a great album, but yeah, this Void album is fantastic. If you like classic thrash speed metal, definitely do yourself a favor and check out the Forbidden Morals by Void. All right, next up, I pre-ordered this thing over a year ago from the label, which was MDD Records in Germany. But this is a new Accuser. This is Rebirthless. I love Accuser. They're one of my favorite German bands. Anything they put out, I buy as a brand new release. I usually buy the CD and the vinyl. I actually had a hand in getting all their mid-period stuff re-released in the United States because they had not been released here. And I actually got to work and do the artwork for them. So I love this band. I've heard some people say that they don't like them because they're more groove-oriented. I don't know about that. Maybe some of their stuff in the the 90s was that way, but this is just pure, unadulterated thrash metal. I mean, this is some fast, heavy stuff. And here's the thing: some of these riffs are just infectious. Songs like let's see here, Painted Cruelty. That's one of the first ones that come to mind, man. When that song comes on, that riff is just such a big hook on it. It'll just stick in your brain all day long. It really does. Ghost of Disease, the title track, Fear Denied. There's some great stuff on here. This has got to be, what, 12th, 13th, 14th album. I can't remember how many albums they have out, but absolutely brilliant album from Accuser. Rebirthless. This one will probably make my top 10 of the year as well. I've just played it so much over the year, but I can say that I pre-ordered it over a year ago. Never got my copy. I sent an email to the record label. The record label came back and said, "Oh, it was lost in the mail. We'll take care of it." Okay, well, never came. I finally gave up and bought the CD from Amazon, which the CD was $25, which was incredibly expensive for a CD if you ask me. But regardless, I played that CD over and over again in my car. I have since emailed the record label several more times asking where is it. Some of my friends in the United States have gotten their copies over the last 2 months. Mine's never showed up. I just assume I'm not going to get it. So I will never order from MDD Records ever again because they never fulfilled my order. I finally ended up buying this very pricey copy from a seller on eBay, but it was brand new and I wanted it, and like I said, one of my favorite bands. So to me, it was worth it. But not getting a record from the label, that blows. All right, next up, more thrash metal. This is the brand new album from Dead Heat. This is obviously a newer band. I can't remember how many albums they have out. They have at least 2 or 3 because I have the others. But this is crossover thrash. So whereas this is just pummeling metal, this has more of a punk edge to it, like a punk attitude. It's still thrash metal, so don't get me wrong. But think of along the lines of like, early DRI or maybe The Accused or The Crucified. That's another good example. The Crucified. There's just so many bands that I could say they kind of have that similar vibe, but they don't sound like anybody. I can't say, oh, these guys are a DRI clone. It's just not that. They have their own unique sound, but it definitely has more of a punk edge to it, and it's very hooky, man. This is one of those albums that I guarantee if you listen to this once or twice, you're going to at least walk away with a couple songs stuck in your head, and you're going to be humming them the rest of the day. Some really good stuff. Metal Blade Records, 2025 release, and this is Process of Elimination by Dead Heat. I pre-ordered that one too. Pre-order from Metal Blade. I do pre-order some Metal Blade all the time. Never had an issue with Metal Blade, so highly recommend them. All right, this is a band I've been championing. How do you say that? Championing. There you go. For the past 3 years or so. They've got 4 or 5 albums out. My goodness, is this band good? Now, this is not thrash. even despite the fact that Hades Dan Lorenzo is the main character here, and you got, let me see, I think there's a picture of the band on the inside, if I'm not mistaken. No, there is not. Bummer. Okay. Well, I thought there was a picture of the band on the inside, but anyhow, Dan Lorenzo is the main songwriter, guitar player, whatnot. They always have different vocalists playing on each song. I was looking to see if there was like just a list of who plays what. There we go. So the only other consistent member of the band is Johnny Kelly, who, of course, was in Typo Negative, and he played for Quiet Riot for quite a while as well. But regardless, this is more of a dark and doomy, very much has a 70s vibe at times, but it's got modern production. It's hard to describe. You know, I hear people call it like doom metal, but it's not just doom metal. There's more to it than that. But it's not, I don't know, I'm having a hard time describing it. Go online and listen. Patriarchs in Black are just great. If you like Sabbath, if you like Led Zeppelin, if you like Kiss, and take all those influences and blend them together with, you know, the metal sensibilities of the 80s and 90s, and with a modern production, you kind of get Patriarchs in Black. And this is one of those ones that you'll be singing along to the songs, because you know, it's not thrash, so this, you know, it's more of a clean vocal style, and like I said, different vocals on every song. Let's see if I can see some of the vocalists that sang on here. Let's see, vocals: Kelly Abe. It's itty bitty little type on here. Mark Sunshine on vocals. I'm pretty sure that DMC from Run DMC sings on here, and then the vocalist from Watchtower and Dangerous Toys sings on here. Mark Sunshine sings on a few tracks here. Carl Gell from it's Charisma Conformity. He also played in School of Violence, sings on here. So yeah, there's all kinds of different singers, and that's the way all their albums are. And this is, I think, their 4th studio album. They also have the EP that came out this year of cover tracks, which is kind of a teaser to the full-length album that's coming out in 2026. That's going to be mostly all covers. But the EP will be unique in that there's a few songs on there that won't make it to the full length coming out this year. But regardless, Patriarchs in Black, Dan Lorenzo, and a great album for 2025 if you're into more traditional, old school heavy metal. And some more German metal. This is German power metal, Brainstorm. This is a brand new album, just came out. Ordered this one from Amazon. First copy came warped to the point where my needle was like, it wasn't riding over the warp, it was like jumping it. So I had to take that off the turntable immediately, which is a bummer. But I did get to play like the middle portions of the album until I returned it. So then I got a new one from Amazon, and it too was warped. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me. An exact same kind of warp. So I don't know if they didn't store them properly or what. Instead of returning it, because it's a brand new record, I threw it on the vinyl flat, and it flattened it perfect. The sound is perfect now, so I'm not going to be returning this one. I mean, you can't see it, you can't hear it. It just came out perfect. But Brainstorm, Plague of Rats, brand new album. The sound quality, the recording quality is fantastic. It sounds like, you know, classic Brainstorm. They didn't really stray from the formula anything here or there. It's just straight up heavy metal. People call it power metal, whatever you want to call it. But to me, it's just great heavy metal with fantastic vocals. This is a gatefold. There's a picture of the band on the inside. You can see. There you go. But yeah, I mean, you got Andy Frank on vocals, and he's just got a very distinct, unique style, kind of a powerhouse style of singing, like, I don't know, like Rob Rock or George Call, that kind of vocal style. James Rivera, but he's got his own unique sound. You know, he doesn't sound like any of those guys. No one's going to say, oh, he sounds like Halford, he sounds like Dickinson, you know, he sounds like Tate. No, Andy Frank's got his own sound, which I really like. Brainstorm, Plague of Rats, just great old school heavy metal in 2025. You know, these guys are keeping it real and doing what they love, and I can't fault them for that. Like I said, picked it up on Amazon. Hopefully your copy won't be warped. All right. Brand new Hellstar. More, you know, just straight up heavy metal. These guys pushing towards the speed metal in here. There's some fast songs on here. James Rivera sounds great on vocals, as good as he ever has. This is on Massacre Records. This one was kind of hard to get because it was released in Germany, and there's not really in distribution here in the United States, which is a shame. But and the layout on here, it's a bit, I don't know, I don't want to say amateurish, but it's just not very, I mean, look at the back cover. It's just black with some red type, and there's no song titles. There's just, the layout's just not great. The cover's cool, though, and it's really great. You know, I love Hellstar, so, you know, what can I say? I also got connections to this band, and that my buddy Rob Caldwell did the mastering for this album, and has done the mastering for a lot of the recent Hellstar stuff, even the reissues that have come out recently on Brutal Planet Records. You know, Rob Caldwell did the mastering on it. Man, he just makes them, he calls it, he goes, you make the pancakes and I add the syrup. That's kind of how it is with him. But I mean, pancakes without syrup are boring. So he does a great job on this one as well. So shout out to Rob Caldwell from Bombwork Sound in Texas. Great job, and great album from Hellstar, James Rivera and crew. I mean, the music is fantastic. You know, I'm a graphic designer, so I'm always going to be a little critical of layouts that are, you know, kind of boring. But other than that, it's a great album, well worth picking up. All right, 2 more here. All right, I'm still getting used to this one. Again, straight up heavy metal, kind of power metal-ish. Really like it. What I've heard, I guess got to give it more spins. I've only heard it once or twice, and I just recently picked it up. So I can't really get real in depth about, you know, what this band's sounds like. But I mean, if you like Hellstar and Brainstorm, and you're probably gonna dig Paragon. It's right in that, you know, right in that pocket of just great heavy metal with great, you know, melodic vocals, but heavy riffs, you know, great guitar solos, and of course the pummeling rhythm section. So nothing you can't. This too is on Massacre Records. This one was much easier to get for some reason than the Hellstar. I just picked this thing up on Amazon, and it wasn't real expensive either. So glad to have it. Great stuff. Great power metal. And then the last one, new release. Old music, but this is Ted Nugent's debut solo album, 1975 Demos and Live Rarities, which was put out by Sound City. I bought my copy directly from Ted Nugent's site, pre-ordered it back when it first came in. It looks like it has an OB strip on it. It does not have an OB strip on it. It is literally printed like that, which is a little bit odd. As you can see, it doesn't wrap around the back. But basically, this is demo and live versions of the entire album. So you've got Stranglehold, Stormtroopin', Hey Baby, Just What the Doctor Ordered, Snakeskin Cowboys, Motor City Madhouse, Where Have You Been All My Life, You Make Me Feel Right at Home, You Make Me Feel Right at Home, and Queen of the Forest. And the last 2 tracks, You Make Me Feel Right at Home and Queen of the Forest, are like acoustic demo versions, which is kind of cool here in the acoustic demo versions. You get the demo version of Stranglehold, you get the demo version of Just What the Doctor Ordered, you get the demo version of Motor City Madhouse and Where Have You Been All My Life, and then you get live versions from 75 of Stormtroopin', Hey Baby, and Just What the Doctor Ordered, and Snakeskin Cowboy. So this one's very cool. I don't think a lot of these are pressed, so if you're a Nugent fanatic like I am, especially if you love that first album, it's really cool to hear these, you know, demos and this very early versions of these songs. Even the live versions are from 75, so very early versions of these songs, and really cool to hear them. There's nothing much to the packaging. There's no inserts or anything like that. They do give you a lot of information on the back cover, including who played on the songs. But the vinyl itself is kind of a nice little blue and white, I don't know what you call it, starburst, splatter, whatever you want to call it. Very cool. This goes along with the Free For All one that came out on Record Store Day this past year, which I believe did have the actual OB strip on it, not a printed one. So, but still, it's very worth getting. Wasn't real expensive either. I think it was under $30, which is, you know, the average price of a record is about $29.99 to $35.99 these days. So, very cool. I'm glad I found it. So that's it for this edition of Rock Metal Update. I really would love to hear what you guys think. Since all this stuff is new, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard these, and I want to know, what do you guys think? You know, do you guys think these are good albums? Do you think the New Testament is great? Do you think it stinks? And actually, I'm curious what you think of the Dark Angel too. I didn't show it because it hasn't arrived yet. I did get to hear the new Dark Angel, and I liked what I heard, but I only played it once, and I played it through my phone, listening to MP3s that the label sent me for buying the record. I just don't care about digital media, so I'm waiting for my vinyl to get here so I can pop it on my turntable and crank it through my Bose, and once it does, I'll be able to give a more accurate description and thoughts on the new Dark Angel. But I'd love to hear your comments on the Dark Angel, Paragon, Testament, you know, Brainstorm, Helix, Hellstar, any of these releases I just showed. Leave that comment below, because yeah, I just want to hear good or bad. I'm not asking for people to affirm what I think. I really want to know if you think the New Testament sucks. Well, why do you think it sucks? I mean, what is it that you don't like about it? So anyhow, that's it. Appreciate you all watching. As always, thumbs up if you liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. God bless and stay strong.